Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you one thing. 2020 has been off the charts for real. Now we got twin storms, Laura and Marco, heading to the Gulf of Mexico. It is expected to reach the area that you're looking at next week. Next week. Twins. I mean, remember, we're going to see things we never seen before. And this is definitely one of those storms. Now, I have seen many hurricanes throughout my life from childhood to adulthood. I don't think I've ever seen twins. So, this came out on Magnolia State Live. This is a paper out of Mississippi. Two storms in Gulf next week, rare occurrence, August 22nd, 2020. The 2020 Atlantic hurricane season is off to a record-setting pace, and the two systems tracking across the basin could set another first in hurricane records dating back into the 1800s. Tropical Storm Laura and Tropical Storm Marco are both on the path that could take them into the Gulf of Mexico at the same time next week. That is just unimaginable that something like this is happening. But we are in those times where we can see practically anything occur in the Gentile world. These systems have nearly covered the entire Gulf Coast. And yeah, it's on alert. They are on alert. And I was hearing talks of evacuations. Yeah, I tell you what, if two were heading towards me, I would definitely, I would be very concerned. This thing is going from Florida to Texas. Wow, this is crazy. Look at all the states it's covering. Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Louisiana, Texas. Wow. And, much of the country will probably, when it start breaking up, get remnants of it. Wow. I'm definitely going to keep track of this next week. It is rare for there to be two tropical storms in the Gulf of Mexico at the same time. According to the NOAA records, this has only been recorded twice, June 18th, 1959, and September 5th, 1933. In early September of 1933, two hurricanes were barreling towards the U.S., one dubbed as 1933 Cuba Brownsville hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico, headed towards Texas, and the other near the Bahamas, the Treasure Coast hurricane, tracking towards the east coast of Florida. On September 4th, the Treasure Coast hurricane made landfall near the border of Palm Beach and Martin counties in Florida as a Category 3 hurricane with maximum sustained winds at 140 miles an hour. Meanwhile, the 1933 Cuba Brownsville hurricane slowly advanced towards Texas. Boy, Texas took a beating each time and going to take a beating again. Oh, man. So in 1959 and 1933, Texas took a whipping from these twin hurricanes. And now look at what's happening. They're going to take a beating again. The following day, the center of the system over Florida emerged over the waters of the Gulf of Mexico. However, it weakened significantly while moving over land. Well, most hurricanes do that. Usually once they get over, they get all of their fuel from the ocean, especially if it's warm. Once it starts traveling over land, it breaks up. I mean, that's pretty much the norm. However, it weakened significantly. I read that part. By the time the center of the storm moved over the waters of the Gulf of Mexico on September 5th, it had weakened to a tropical storm. The 1933 Cuba Brownsville hurricane struck near Brownsville on September 5th, 23 hours after the Treasure Coast hurricane made landfall in Florida. Wow. Okay, so the Treasure Coast hurricane had made a second landfall in Cedar Key, Florida, as a tropical storm on September 5th, effectively simultaneously with the 1933 Cuba Brownsville hurricane landfall in Texas. So they made landfall practically at the same time. One hit Texas, one hit Florida, 1933. 3 other years prior to that also had storms that made landfall within 24 hours of each other, and that was in 1901, 1908, and 1909. These storms all made landfall within 24 hours of each other, typically during the first half of the hurricane season, though only one of the dual made landfall within the Gulf of Mexico. More recently, on June 18, 1959, there was a small window of time when two tropical storms were spinning over the Gulf simultaneously. Tropical Storm Beulah and the newly formed tropical storm that would later strengthen into Hurricane 3. 1959 had two tropical storms in the Gulf, but only at one point in time, 18Z on June 18th, when the one on the right just formed. AccuWeather meteorologist and weather editor Jesse Farrell said, the next update is 00Z. The one on the left was a tropical depression. The two tropical storms were in opposite sides of the Gulf, Beulah making landfall in Mexico, and the other eventually making landfall in Tampa, Florida. Laura and Marco are on the path that would place them in the record books amid these other two instances next week, though perhaps with a stronger presence. It is likely that they will become just the third pair of tropical storms to be in the Gulf at the same time. But if they both manage to become well organized, there is a potential that they could both be hurricanes. This would be the first time in recorded history dating back to 1851 where two hurricanes occupy the Gulf at the same time, the National Hurricane Center said. With these two tropical systems coming in such close proximity of each other, it raises the question if they will interact with each other in a phenomenon known as Fujiwara effect. This is when two storms spinning in the same direction pass close enough to each other. They begin an intense dance around the common center. The two storms, close in strength, can gravitate towards each other until they reach a common point and merge, the National Weather Service explained. However, it is unlikely to happen with Laura and Marco, according to AccuWeather top hurricane expert. Uh-huh. Okay. Usually what happens is you get two storms of equal size and equal strength to rotate around each other. And that's what's referred to the Fujiwara effect, he added. We see that happening rarely sometimes in the Pacific. What we may have seen it sometimes in memorable history here in the Atlantic. Rather than a dance, the Gulf of Mexico might just see a fight for survival between two hurricanes. Well, this will be interesting. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on this. But, what's even more important, if you can get yourself as prepared as possible. I know many people in this country are not working, and there's only so much you can do. But whatever you can do to keep yourself safe, make sure you do it, you know, because it's going to be tough. I can tell you that area is going to have a major power outage. You may be without power for who knows how long, with two coming. So, if, like I said, if you can get yourself prepared, do whatever you can. Reach out to me, any of my subscribers that are in that area, and just let me know how you're doing. But I pray that you will remain safe. So it looks like it may make landfall anywhere between Monday and Wednesday, depending on how fast it's moving. And the ocean is very warm this time of the year. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.